Previously, Kanata narrowly misses the top 15, but luck intervenes when manufacturing headquarters discovers an unauthorized tires issue with a racer in that elite group. This propels Kanata from the initially secured 16th place to the more favorable 15th position. Talk about some protagonist luck. With a close call in the previous round, Kanata and his ugly mechanic, Ogata, are informed about the next race. Excited to receive the news, Ogata informs Kanata the next day about how the 86 will be perfectly tuned up for the next round at Lake Oshinoko. He then turns to face Kanata and asks him if he has any specific requests. Kanata tells Ogata that he wants him to remove the traction control as he wants to have more control. Agreeing to his wishes, Ogata learns that Kanata has a meeting with Ren and recalls how he saw her when she was a stubborn little brat. Upon visiting a theme park with Ren, Kanata acts like a total weeb as he expresses his excitement on riding the Inoden. Hearing him ramble about the stupid vehicle, Ren realizes that Kanata hasn't realized that she was the angel who slapped him on the face. Amazed by this realization, Ren wonders if all boys are as stupid as Kanata or if it's just the good-looking ones that can't recognize a woman after she wears a wig. Either way, Ren thanks her guardian angels for Kanata's stupidity as she still has a chance of bumping uglies with a hot dude. But before the clothes come off, the two reach Kamakura to find Kanata's father. They should have just checked the milk aisle in the nearest supermarket before making it all the way to Kamakura. During their search, the two come across a statue and Ren asks Kanata to snap a pic of her. Despite taking a mid-ass photo, Kanata gets praised by Ren and the two continue their walk. While viewing the place, Kanata once again goes on a boring rant about how the place feels like a time machine for him. Ren has to pretend that she is interested in the crap that Kanata has to say since he's all hot. During their short water break, Kanata tells Ren about how he desperately needs to take on a job and move out from her place. Hearing this, Ren instantly objects and says that he is welcome to stay for as long as he wants. Kanata however states that he doesn't intend to overextend his stay. Ren then spews some bull about how her mother thinks of him as the son she never had and would be greatly disappointed to hear him worry about such trifling matters. Or perhaps Ren just wants her future sneaky link to be around. After listening to her, Kanata tells Ren that he has not been a good son and casually speaks one English word to make the viewers believe he's truly from abroad. On their way, an elderly calls them lovebirds, which is surprising given they look like siblings. The woman offers to take their pictures but Kanata denies it, which earns him a gut punch from Ren. As the two starts playfully throwing sand at each other, Ren gazes at Kanata, who looks like a Chad underneath the shining sun, and realizes what she feels for him is love. The next day, Kanata meets up with Ogata to discuss the prize money. He asserts that he wants to split the money in half, but Ogata objects, saying that he risks his life in the race and should get to keep more. Getting tired of seeing the boomer's face, Kanata gazes at a couple sitting 2 seats from him. Later, when he goes to get some coffee, Kanata bumps into the girl he saw earlier. She apologizes and fawns over Kanata's Chad features internally. As Nozomi and Kakeru make their way towards the parking lot, her eyes instantly catch sight of the unmistakable 86. Filled with excitement, she enthusiastically points it out to Kakeru, taking them back to the memory of their encounter with the car at the manufacturing event. When Kanata steps out, Nozomi swiftly rushes over, expressing her sincere thanks for the stroke of luck in running into the super rookie who has become the talk of everyone. After a brief yet warm introduction, Nozomi eagerly joins Kakeru by the car. It is at this moment that Ogata steps into the scene, revealing the surprising twist that they are not just teammates but biological siblings, adding an unexpected familial dynamic to their roles as fellow competitors. As the following day unfolds, the narrative zooms in with a hyper-focus shot capturing the manufacturing angels, adding an extra layer of anticipation to the atmosphere. Commentator Tanaka, accompanied by the highly regarded racing coach Kogashiwa Kai, takes the reins to announce and host the upcoming event. The godly 15 make a grand entrance, and amidst the excitement, Aiba takes a moment to wish Kanata the very best for the race. Observing Kanata's face devoid of any signs of anxiety, Aiba cannot help but be impressed, perceiving him as a seasoned and battle-hardened veteran racer. With the countdown ticking, Aiba consciously clears his head, contemplating the potential victory that awaits him. Winning the race holds a special allure for Aiba, as his pathetic self would get him the privilege to choose and kiss any angel of his liking. The excitement builds as the competitors prepare for the imminent race to the finishing line, setting the stage for a captivating and highly anticipated competition among the most skilled and determined racers. Kanata finds himself way back. He relays to Ogata that he just needed to make minor adjustments before joining in the dogfight. Hearing this, the fat old man's already ugly face becomes more twisted with worry, as clearly there's a huge power gap between his busted up car and the rest of the cars. At the same time, Aiba goes in attack mode from the very start of the race. Guess he wasn't playing about getting a smooch from Ren. Daigo analyzes Aiba's moves and asserts that one bad move from him can get him out of the race. Having competed for 3 years now, Daigo finds himself getting confident in his eyes. Manufacturing is all about the experience. As Daigo begins to drive aggressively, he curses the grip-weight ratio rule for his own shortcomings. At the same time, the commentators discuss the grip-weight ratio. Kai adds that while it's a simple touch, it's hard to realize the reasoning behind it. Since Iba got the dog in him, he tries to take on Sakamoto, but Sakamoto remains vigilant and thinks to himself that with his huge ass engine displacement, 4WD and electronic control, he's untouchable. Sakamoto speeds up, thinking to himself how in manufacturing, the car is everything. As the racers seamlessly transition from Sector 1 to Sector 2, the relentless Kanata continues to trail behind the pack, facing the challenge of catching up. In a strategic move, Kakeru reaches out to his sister, Nozomi, urging her to refocus and overtake the formidable Honda racer ahead. Nozomi, quick to respond, informs Kakeru about the opponent's surprising toughness and exceptional speed, particularly around the tricky corners, seeking her brother's assistance. Responding to his sister's call for help, Kakeru reassures Nozomi that they will employ Formation 3. The duo executes the formation with precision and coordination, luring Meizono into a strategic move. This tactical maneuver opens a window of opportunity for Nozomi to skillfully surpass him. Witnessing this, Meizono finds himself outplayed, and further takes a Mega L as Kanata calmly overtakes him, securing the 14th position with apparent ease. As Kanata aligns himself behind the siblings, Kakeru states that they have no chance of a fair fight in the technical section. He tells Nozomi to gap Kanata as much as she can. In the meantime, Ren points at the leaderboard and asks her senpai why they're using an analog leaderboard when everything in manufacturing is so high-tech. Then all of a sudden, a cameraman zooms in on another angel's yacht, making Ren uneasy. Her senpai then tells Ren that fan service is very important to manufacturing. On the track, Michael positions himself to challenge Ishigami, a 2-year reigning champion. Internally, Ishigami feels a sense of embarrassment as Michael attempts to undermine his reputation. Michael directs a burning, intense gaze toward Ishigami's Porsche 991 GT3. In his thoughts, Michael questions Ishigami's worthiness of handling such an iconic Porsche rear-engine model. Michael, fueled by arrogance, asserts that Ishigami lacks the proper skills to master the vehicle. Escalating the offense, Michael derogatorily categorizes Ishigami as a street monkey from a distant corner of Asia. In a synchronized dance of pursuit, Iba skillfully maneuvers, darting left and right in his determined chase after Sakamoto's car. The race intensifies as Iba, seemingly relentless, stays hot on Sakamoto's heels, or better yet, wheels. Caught in the chase, Sakamoto cannot help but wonder if Iba has absolutely no care for the well-being of his tires, given the aggressive pursuit. With blood pumping not only in Iba's veins but also his Excalibur, the motive becomes crystal clear. Iba's singular focus is not on tire conservation but rather on the coveted prize of securing a kiss. As the racers progress into Sector 3, there's a shift in the narrative. The commentators acknowledge Kanata's noteworthy achievement, praising him for securing the 14th place with his 86. Meanwhile, in the rear view, Meizono decides to closely observe Kanata, intrigued by the prospect of uncovering his racing secrets. Intent on learning from Kanata's performance, Meizono finds himself determined to decipher the tricks that brought Kanata success. From behind the wheel, Meizono expresses amazement at Kanata's ability to cut corners, finding it absolutely mind-boggling since their cars belong to the same category. The more Meizono observes Kanata's seemingly unconventional maneuvers, the more bewildering it becomes for him. In a cosmic FU to Meizono, the distraction ends up proving costly as Meizono, absorbed in dissecting Kanata's strategy, meets with an unfortunate accident. Kanata soon follows behind the siblings, causing them to fret as the gap they built falls through. The cars enter the ghost town filled with fog. The commentators state how the lack of visibility from the drone footage makes it hard to keep tabs, adding to the apprehension. During this time, the commentator informs the viewers about how Kanata is not just blessed in the looks department but holds an impressive career record, building anticipation for his performance. The commentator eagerly discloses the identity of Kanata's academy instructor, the renowned tragic rallyist Takumi Fujiwara from Donington. Kai reacts with genuine amazement, prompting Tanaka to provide a detailed account of Takumi's esteemed reputation in the racing circles. Meanwhile, within the ominous Mist's death zone, Kakeru keenly observes Kanata skillfully tailing Nozomi's sleek Alfa Romeo 4C. Reflecting on Kanata's extraordinary performance in the previous race, where visibility was reduced to zero, Kakeru openly acknowledges the sheer brilliance of Kanata's driving skills, a prowess that even surpasses the benchmark set by the highly regarded Michael. Returning to the commentary booth, Kai openly discusses his history with Fujiwara, emphasizing their dual roles as competitors and friends. Fujiwara, nicknamed the Flying Man from Japan due to his impressive speed, encountered a tragic incident during a routine machine test. A drive shaft failure led to a perilous plunge into a ravine, causing severe injuries. Fujiwara's recovery involved a prolonged hospital stay and dedicated rehabilitation. Ultimately, faced with the harsh reality, he made the tough decision to retire from racing, leaving behind a legacy that extended beyond the racetrack. Fujiwara's transition from racer to trainer was marked by tears and joy for Kai. Tanaka explains how Fujiwara became a ghost after the accident and expressed the delight of discovering his friend's improved circumstances as a trainer. The bond shared by Kai and Fujiwara, forged through rivalry and camaraderie, now carries a renewed sense of connection in their respective roles. The revelation of Fujiwara's transformation from tragedy to a fulfilling career adds depth to the narrative. It showcases the resilience of the human spirit and the positive outcomes that can emerge from challenges. As the commentary unfolds, the audience gains insights into the complex world of racing, filled with triumphs, setbacks, and the enduring bonds that persist beyond the racetrack. Meanwhile, Michael, positioned just behind Ishigami, doesn't shy away from expressing his disappointment with his fellow racers' maneuvers. In a candid critique, he deems Ishigami's reflexes, eyesight, and spirit as subpar, asserting that he's not fit for competition. Michael, displaying a touch of arrogance, goes on to voice his disdain for the manufacturing, labeling it as boring due to washed-up geezers like Ishigami. Soon enough, Michael takes over Ishigami, calling him an eyesore and failing the GT3. With Michael now taking the lead in the race, Ren's senpai Kyoko goes on to update the leaderboard. When the cameraman asks her for her favorite, Kyoko gives a political answer, revealing she doesn't have a favorite. It is during the Q&A when the cameraman makes the foolishness of asking Kyoko's age. As we know, fellas, never ask a man his salary and a woman her age and a girl with blue hair about her father. Just as the racers emerge from the death zone, Kanata swiftly takes over Nozomi's Alfa Romeo. Tanaka turns to the expert and asks him if he sees any similarities between Michael and the rookie star Tanaka. Kai reveals that on a fundamental level, both racers differ from each other. He calls Michael a god for his unremarkable skills while he labels Kanata a little rough on the edges. Kai also comments on how Kanata will not be able to threaten the leaders in this round since his car is just too down on powers. This upsets old man Ogata. Shortly after that, Kanata smoothly takes over Kakeru, claiming the 11th position for himself. As Mami, an angel, goes to update the leaderboard, Kyoko gives Ren the gossip on Mami, calling her trap for showing her rear as means of getting likes. The cameraman asks Mami about her favorite and she proudly says that she fancies Kanata. On another hand, Iba manages to leave Sakamoto in the dust, claiming his rank and hopefully Ren's kiss for himself. In the meantime, Kakeru and Nozomi strategically approach Kanata from behind, harnessing the power of the slipstream on the lengthy straight track to make a swift overtaking maneuver. Noticing Kanata's position, Nozomi signals an invitation for him to join their slipstream, and Kanata readily accepts the offer. To the surprise of Ogata, Kanata successfully navigates his major challenge, the long straight, leveraging the benefits of the slipstream. As the race enters its second lap, Ren silently prays for Kanata's victory. That's all for now. Be sure to stay tuned for the rest of the series. Thanks for watching.